I know it's been a while, but today is the 7th of August, and my pumpkins are a little bit out of control. And so are I think they haven't started producing yet, some kind of noodle beans, I think, over here on the side. I can't even remember anymore. I don't have any pumpkins in this mess yet, but my volunteer tomato has gotten so tall, it is taller than I am, and we have some beautiful tomatoes on here, looking good. And this is the Jerusalem peas, and it absolutely took over this arch, and I think it's only 4 plants, but this is loving life right now. Absolutely loving life. Had quite a few blooms from the flowers, getting choked out by whatever this weed is that comes back every year. Some of my hydrangeas, some roses, and this was white, now it's green. That's the Incredible or Invincible, I can't remember. This one is a little bit more white. It was one of the newer blooms, and the purple one is drying up. But per usual, the hibiscus is showing off. Absolutely no fruit. Oh, let me go back over here, because this had fruit. There's absolutely not one on this plum tree. I sit in the window and watch the squirrels and the chipmunks pick them out the tree and run into the woods with them in their mouth. No cherries. Absolutely not one plum on this tree, which was loaded. Absolutely no pears on this tree, which was also loaded. I even went as far as to cover one section of the tree with a mesh. They still got in there. And as many fruit as was on this tree that I had to pick some off, not one remained on this peach tree. Not one. That's a first. Usually around this time I'm getting ready to harvest them in September. Not one. I don't know what was going on this year. This is my PG hydrangea, and the blooms are a little bit heavy, especially when it rains, and this is what we got going on. Oh, and this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's not talk about how bad my tomatoes look. Half of them are dead, but I did get a lot of tomatoes. Like, look at this. Dead. Oh, this one is dead. Oh my gosh. And the squirrels and chipmunks keep eating my tomatoes. Look. Like, there literally was a fruit up here yesterday. Today it is clean, it's empty, it's down there. That's what I've been dealing with all summer. They're eating the fruits before they even get anywhere. And a little bit of this, the deadness is my fault. The plants are getting too much water because I have the basin at the bottom to keep them hydrated. But now it's been so rainy this year. Like, the plants are drowning. But I don't even have time. Look, another one gone. Oh, and I was looking at that one out the window this morning. I was gonna come and get it. So, like, this one, I'm gonna take it off as soon as they get to this color, or at least even less than this. I have to take them out, take them inside the house, because tomorrow I will come out here and that will be gone. It's my struggle this year. Chipmunks. Look at my Scotch bonnet, y'all. It's the only one I grew this year, because I had peppers in the freezer from last year, so I didn't want to grow anymore. My jalapenos are doing great. Yeah, this whole tomato situation this year is rough. And here are my pumpkins. Entirely too much water and rain this year. I still have carrots in there. I need to take them out, but like this has to come off. The plant is damn near dead anyway, but see the little yellow on the shoulder there? So that means that needs to come inside with me. Something is digging in the garden. And I took off all of the bell peppers that were on these, except for this one, just so that the plant could set new flowers like this one is doing. And finally, there's an eggplant flower. Maybe I'll get an eggplant this year. So that's one type, and I can't remember where the other type is, but it's in here somewhere. That might be one of them, and they're not doing great because these need to come out. Yeah, the state of my garden. All I see is partially eaten stuff all over the place. Yeah, it's rough. But I'm still getting produce and I'm still putting stuff up, so that's not too bad. Maybe next year it won't be so wet. All right, that's pretty much it for vegetable garden update. I have these beans coming in along here. I started tying them up onto the trellis that's supposed to be for the tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes always do well. There's been a lot of cracking because it's been non-stop rain, so I have to come out and get them when they're not quite ripe so that they can finish up inside, because they'll crack if like that orange one right there, how it's cracked. That's what happens when they're almost ripe and they take on too much water. Oh yeah. Oh, and I'm getting a lot of okra. I just cut one. Don't worry about the garden, the mess. I literally come out here to take food out the garden and then keep it moving. I don't do much garden cleanup right now. I don't have time. This overgrown okra, I'm leaving it here for seed. And I've taken off all the young ones already, so we're good to go. That's just my little mini garden update. Oh, and I took off the 3 pumpkins that were here. 2 pumpkins that were here. The red curry squash. Callaloo, I've eaten that a few times. Quite yummy. And the basil is looking good. Right here. I put in some collards, the ones that have been out here since spring. They were in a small pot, and so they never grew. I put them in the ground, and they've already grown, and they've only been in for less than a week. The celery, the only one that hasn't flowered yet. Not that I've eaten any of it. And my purple peas. I took out a few tomato plants, but I still have more to take out. Like this year, I really had like a tomato disease. It's called septoria leaf spot. Like all my tomato plants look like that, and so it just kind of shriveled up and died. So I think it's more of that than the water situation, but all my tomatoes, their leaves look like that, and then the plant just kind of shrivel up and die, which is what happened over here. And it actually started over there with those, and then it kind of spread over here, and these were good for a while, and then it just kind of took over this bed too. Because even a couple weeks ago, that plant right there that I was just showing you was great. It was doing beautiful. It was the best looking one of all my tomatoes. But anywho, that's it for the garden. It's ugly, but it's still giving me food. Over here on the side wall, I had the little tomato starts that I took off of the plants over there on the other side. They're doing good. It was leaning over. I just stood it up. That's why it looks like that. And this one has 1 tomato and hasn't done much more. But this one is slowly but surely putting on a lot of. And I just picked a cucumber. The cucumbers are pretty much dead. Jesus Christ. I was wondering what the hell stinks. I just saw one of the rabbits are dead right over there. I'm like, what is that? But there was a pack of raccoons in the backyard last night that I caught on the camera. Ooh, that's... Over here, I took out the cabbages. I cooked 2 of them. They didn't get really big because it's not a lot of space. I cooked 2, and the others are in the fridge. As you can see, the beans are finally taken off, and I have some cucumber flowers. They're all male flowers, no female. And hopefully I get some cucumbers from this wave of cucumbers. And the callaloo is looking good down there at the bottom. And this is a cucumber beetle. See that black and yellow pain in the butt? They kill cucumber plants. Yes, they do. And I'm about to kill it. All right, problem solved. And I do want to grow a fall garden, so over here I brought these from work yesterday because I started these inside. I have this is scarlet kale, then I have pak choi, which is this right here, then I have collards, which are these blue looking one right here, then I have spinach, and I have chingjum soy. I think that's how you say it. That right there's another Asian green. It's kind of like pak choi, another version. The spinach didn't really do well in the germination. I think these are all chingjum soy. This is black seeded Simpson lettuce, this light green one, and this colorful one is prize head lettuce, and the butter crunch didn't really do anything. So these are supposed to go in the garden when I clear them out. Clear out what's currently in there anyway. Up here, the fig tree hasn't really done much of anything. I think I finally saw a fruit starting to emerge, but I could be wrong. Might just be wishful thinking. But it's struggled this summer a lot. Since I brought him outside in the spring, it just really hasn't done well. And it keeps drying out because it will rain, and I think there's enough rain, and it obviously isn't, so the pots dry out. This coleus took over this entire pot, and all my petunias are dead. There's a ground cherry on the ground. This is a ground cherry. When they're ready, it falls off the tree, which is why it's called a ground cherry. It's like a very mini tomato, and it's so sweet. The lemon tree surprisingly has not done much of anything. Like, all the flowers that came on earlier in the year kind of fell off. They didn't do anything. So I did fertilize the plant again. Earlier this week, I fertilized the plant, and hopefully that allows it to produce some flowers. And it looks like the big lemons that are on there are starting to color up a little bit, so they're not as green as, like, this one is green, looks like a lime. This one is getting a tinge of yellow, so it's almost ready to come off. And the petunias are pretty much done. I can cut it back and reinvigorate it, but I'm not really interested. Maybe. We shall see. The volunteer thistle, that it had one tall stalk, and I cut it off because of the prickliness, and now it has multiple heads. It's gonna bloom quite beautiful. And the lemon balm, I already cut it back once, and it's taken over yet again. And as you can see, here's my other Bobo. The other one's in the front. Yeah, I think this is Bobo. And it is being swallowed up by the lemon balm. My endless summer hydrangea. This is what the old blooms look like. Still pretty, but I definitely love the vibrant pink. My chamomile, I have yet to pick a leaf off and dry anything to make tea. My lemongrass, I have yet to cut it back. I should cut it back so it can shoot up again. In here I have sweet marjoram, summer savory, and one other thing I can't remember, but they're all herbal, medicinal. I use them to cook, but also you could use them to make tinctures and medicines for various issues which are in my herbal book. Over here just still look the same. I have more okras over here on the side. I just cut one off of that. In front, the sedum is starting to bloom, looking fantastic. And the bunnies are still eating everything they could get their little chompers on. The Baptisia, it's dying underneath because they keep eating. They already ate the clematis. I never took that down. And on the other side, even under here, they're eating the penstemon. I wonder if this is gonna bloom this year. Last year it did not bloom. All right, so these are the lava flare hydrangeas. And the coneflower mixed in back there. That's pretty. I love that combination. We're not gonna talk about what this looks like. Like, this needs to get cut back, but I haven't had time to do much gardening. And here's the other bobo that's in the front yard. I love this color combination, but that barberry is wild. And this is what Heaven Bunnies does. I didn't ask for it. They're here, but they eat everything. And here's what the front is looking like. This is the Pinky Winky. Yep, Pinky Winky. And look at all the flies on my house. What in the world? Okay. And these are the petunias I started from seed, and they're doing great. And I put the what is this called again? I can't remember. That plant. It was over here in this garden bed, but I moved it. And here go the rest of the petunias. Kind of put them along the front walkway. They kind of go with my door. Over here, the tree that I never got in check, the holly tree, and my coral bells that got eaten, and my hostas looking good still. And my hydrangeas have been done for a while over here on this side. They were pink and purple, and they were gorgeous. The yarrow, the goldenrod. I should have taken this out a long time ago. This is the second year it's had some kind of worm situation going on. That little silver thing is some kind of worm. And here's my little lime hydrangea. And my transplanted hibiscus, which is not going to bloom this year, it doesn't look like. And my fountain back there. I bought it's literally sitting in a box and I've yet to put it in. I bought a fountain that sprays up and make noise and it's pretty. That sits inside that pool of water, and I've yet to put it in, and I've had it for like a month and a half. And it will literally take like 2 seconds. These are Pinky Winky standards that I cut off of the other tree out there. Now this year, my Rudbeckias did not even put on one bud, because as soon as this starts to grow, the bunnies eat it. Last year, you couldn't even get in here. It was a sea of yellow. And this plant needs to get cut all the way back. My God. This one, that one, and that one. Not that you could see it. Yeah. But yeah. Let me go inside and find something. Ooh. There's nothing in it, but there's a nest right here. Cool. Over here on the side of the house, some more. And then, of course, these ones. I will say they are messy, but they're gorgeous. Look at that. Just a sea of them. inside the house, I have some ground cherries, some cherry tomatoes, and the pumpkins that I cut off. So this pumpkin, and this is an interesting tomato. That's a new one this year. It's green on the inside when it's ripe. Yeah, so all the tomatoes come here to ripen up before they get put in the freezer so that I can later make sauce or a salsa or something of that nature. Have a good day, y'all. That's it for me.